Now remember, what we are doing is a static route, so let's get a simple network topology. Let me just pick some routers here, pick another one here, pick another one here. So these are the routers we have. Now what we are going to do, we are going to connect these routers. Let's use a crossover cable. I'm just connecting them using a crossover cable. By now you should know, when you're connecting similar devices, we use a crossover cable. So that is our topology. Let's assume this side here has this network 192.168.1.0, and this one has 192.168.2.0. So the address here will be .1, and this one is .1, this one is .2, and this one is .2. Hope we are following. Then the task we have to first of all configure all these links to be active. We have to configure these links to be active. So I'm going to begin with the router 1. I'm going to begin with router 0. So router 0, these are the configurations you put on router 0. This is the one we are configuring. So we shall say enable configure terminal. We say host name, always very important, you begin by giving it a name. So the name of this router is router 0. So just put that, router 0. So the next thing is to assign the IP address on this interface. So I think you can see the interface is gig 0/0. That's the interface we are going to program with this IP address .1. So we shall say interface gig 0. This is the interface we are configuring. We say IP address. This is 192.168.1. Now this is where you see a 0.0, where you see a .0, we shall put a .1, and that will make it an IP address. So this is just a network address. This is a network address for this side. So for the IP address, we are going to replace this 0 with a 1. So we are using /24, which is 255.255.255.0. Now we say no shutdown. No shutdown for activating this interface. So at the moment we end there, then we save our configuration. So the next router we are going to deal with is router 1. Let me just minimize this. Just a moment. Okay. Now router 1, this one here, it has two interfaces. There is this one here, and there's also this one here. So we need to give them IP addresses. So the configuration for that particular router we are going to say enable. Always when you are configuring a router, you begin by saying enable, then configure terminal, then you give that device a name, host name. This is router 1. Now we check the interfaces we are configuring. This is gig 00, I think you can see that, and this one is also gig 01. So let me begin with interface gig 0/0, put IP address, and the IP address is going to be .2. Where you see a 0, you replace it with a 2. So have 192.168.1.2, and put 255.255.255.0. Now this 255, we are getting it from here. Every time you see /24, /24, mute your volume. /24, we put 255.255.255.0. Then this interface, we turn it on. We say no, shut down. So we are turning on this interface. So we are done with this one. We have given it an IP address, which is that, and also we have turned it on. So the next thing now is we go to this interface also. We are going to go to this interface also and give it its IP address. So that interface was gig 0/1. Let's first confirm that. Yes, but I think it's also there, gig 0/1. So say IP address 192.168. This is 2 dot, where you see a 0, you put a 2. We are using /24. /24 is always 255.255.255.0. So we put no shutdown. So we have configured this interface and also this interface. So we end and we save our configuration using WR. So we are done with this router here. We go to the last one. What we are doing, we are just giving these routers names and their IP addresses. So we do the same for router 2. We are going to give it a name and also put an IP address on this interface. So for router 2, this one here, this is the configuration we have to type. We shall put enable config T, we put a name, host name. This is router 2. Then now we go to this interface gig 0/0, give it IP address. The IP address is going to be 2, this one has to be .1. Yeah, because it is being covered by that, but it's 192.168.2.1. That is the IP address here. /24 is 255.255.255.0. We put no shut down, then we end and we save. So this is the configuration for this router here. We have only one interface, so that is why we have only configured one interface. So what we are going to do, the next step, I'm just going to copy these codes and I just paste them in my routers. So let me begin with router 2. I'm copying this code in Notepad. I'm just copying that. Let me copy this code. This is for router 2. So I go to router 2. I'm now on router 2, as you can see here. To go to router 2, you simply click. Then you go to command line interface, this one here. There's a question here, would you like to enter initial configuration dialog? Cisco recommends you put no. So I'm right clicking, then I paste. So I've put my commands there, I've already pasted them, there are no errors. So after that, we close this window. We go back to our notepad, we check those codes for router 2. We are now moving to this one. I'm just pasting what we have typed in notepad. Router 2, the commands are here. This is for router. We copy that code up to that point. Then you right click, and then copy. So I'm going to go to this router, I click on it, I go to command line, I put no here, then I right click and paste. So there are also no errors, I've already pasted that. I close it. So what you observe here now, this link is already active. This link is already active. So we do the last bit, which is router 0. This router also, we copy the code, right click, copy, then we paste it. We click here on router 0, go to CLI, you type no, then you right click and paste. So what we see here, all the links are now active. Now let us test. If you look at this network here, we have two networks. This is one and this is the second one. We have these two networks, 1 and 2. Remember I said when you are counting networks, you count the cables connecting to the routers. So here we see only two cables, 1 and 2. So these are two networks. Now let us test if this router 0 can send data to router 2. I'll pick my file here. You click here, pick a file, put here, try to send here. Now we are getting a message, failed. Let's test again. Take there, then here. It is failing. Let's test, can this data move from here up to here? It is also failing. So let's try to change these cables. We go to this, we delete that. Let me use a straight through cable here. Let's see if that one fixes the problem for us. I've now used a straight through cable. So let me test again and see from here. It's still failing. So let's check again from here to here to here. It says router has no functional ports. So there's something we need to check. There's something we need to check. We are going to go to this router. Go to this router. We are checking something small. Yes. If you can observe, when we pasted, we got an error here. I think you can see this error here. We got an error there. So let's correct that error. I'm just correcting that. Config T interface, it was gig 0/0. It was IP address 192.168.1.1. Mask is 255.255.255.0. Yeah, I think that is now sorted. So let's try to check from here to here. Still failing. We check again from here to here. Yes, now it is successful. I think you can see this message. It is successful. So let me also remove this cable. We replace it with a straight through. Straight through cable is here. I'll put it there. So let's test again from this router to this router. We are getting successful. Can I send from here router 1 to router 2? This one says failed. Let me try again. This to that, successful. So let's just again from here to here. Okay, now let me check from router 0 to router 2. As you can see, there is no communication. There is no communication. Router 0 cannot send data to router 2. This is simply because the two routers are in different networks. Router 0 is in this network and router 2 is in this network. So for us to have that communication, we need to bring in what we call static route. Static route will enable those devices in different networks to communicate. So that is the next part we are going to do. That is the next part we are going to do, setting up the static route on the routers with remote networks.